Hello friends, it is November and today we're picking what books I'm going to read for the coming month, and I'm trying to pick from my physical TBR, but I'm not quite sure what I'm in the mood for, so naturally we've picked up ye old TBR Jar. We haven't given this thing a spin in a while, so I can't remember what prompts are in here, but we're just going to get cracking and see what we can come up with. And let me see, hopefully you can read this and I'm not holding it up upside down. A book with less than 200 pages. Easy peasy. There's one I can think of straight away. Just gonna check the page count before I embarrass myself. Okay, 159 pages, and we have Hearts and Bones by Niamh Mulvey. I've heard very good things about this book, but I know very little about it, and in my defense I actually pulled it out of a little free library. I didn't buy it, and in that instance I feel like it's okay to not know that much about it. I know that it is an Irish literary fiction novel. The little blurb on the top: Hearts and Bones explores what love does to us and how we survive it. A young woman learns to wield her power, leaving casualties in her wake, while a man from a small town finds solace in a strange new hobby. A watchful child feels a breaking point approach as her mother struggles to keep her life on track. Another daughter steps onto a stage while her family in the audience hope that she is strong enough now to take on the world. Set between Ireland and London, this outstanding collection glitters with wisdom, humanity and devastating honesty, asking who we are now that we've brought the old gods down and announcing a major new voice in literary fiction. Tell me this, is this a book of short stories? Yeah, I believe it is. That's interesting. I actually thought it was a novel, so there you have it. I'm quite excited for that one now. That should be easy to kind of pick up and flick through, and I believe I should be able to get it on BorrowBox as well, so it is an option to pick up as an audiobook. That's a good start. I'm excited for that. Okay, book number 2. We'll give it a little fizzle around and hopefully there's something here that I can actually pick from my shelves. Right. Is that focusing? A book about a road trip or a long voyage. I have one and I'm like, oh no. So there's a series that I've been reading for quite some time, and it's a series by Stephen King, and while it's not about a road trip, it is most certainly about a long voyage. I've been reading the Dark Tower series, and the last book that I picked up was Wizard and Glass, and that was book number 4 in the series. And I read that in April of 2022. So we have book number 5, Wolves of the Cala, and it is quite long. Yeah, it's about 770 pages, and I've been putting this book off for a long time because it gives me not only big book fear, but it also gives me, I can't remember what happened in the first 4 books, that fear as well, but I suppose I can look up online and see where we go. I was really enjoying these novels, and a lot of the time Wizard and Glass, so the 4th book, is actually people's favourites, but for me personally it kind of pulled me out of the story a bit and made me feel a little bit, oh, we've lost some momentum here. So number 4 is kind of a book that's a flashback. So the first 3 books follow a very kind of linear pattern, and then the 4th book really goes elsewhere. Now I would say it is important and it's a good book, but I felt like, oh, okay, and it kind of stalled me a bit, and now it's been 2.5 years and I haven't picked up the 5th book, and I suppose this is my prompt, quite literally, to do so. So yeah, it looks like we're reading this in November. This is a very difficult thing to talk about because obviously it is the 5th book in a series. It's about a group of people who are on a journey to get to the Dark Tower, and I can't really say a whole lot more than that. The first book almost feels very much like a Western in many ways, and then the 2nd and 3rd books feel much more contemporary. We pass through contemporary New York, and the 4th book again is a bit of a flashback, and then I don't really know what the dealio with this one is, but we follow a group of people and it's very much found family, and they go through an awful lot along the way. It's very typical Stephen King in many ways, in that his characters are brilliant, the dialogue is fantastic, and look, I've been putting this off for unknown reasons, but it's probably going to be one of my favourite books of the year when I do pick it up. So we're going to give it a go, I say, with serious trepidation. Okay, we're going to go for book number 3, and hopefully it's not quite so intimidating as book number 2. I feel like we're going to get really unlucky with the prompts as well because I don't have that many books left. Well, over 60 is still quite a lot. A book with a map. Okay, well there's one that I think here is on my mind that I think will have a map, but just let me check to be sure. We've got a map. And this book is a follow-up to a book that I read last year, I think, and it likely needs little to no introduction, but we're going to introduce it anyway. And that book is Iron Flame, which is the book that comes after Fourth Wing, and Fourth Wing was pretty much a phenomenon. We follow a girl and she lives in a world where dragons exist, and she goes to a college called Basgiath College to train to become a dragon rider. There's lots of politics. It's very young adult fantasy-esque, and at the time I really enjoyed it. I have my criticisms of it now that I've had some time to mull it over, which is probably why I have put off reading this one for so long. But it's time, pals. We're going back in. The last book ended on a bit of a cliffhanger, and we're probably going straight back into it, I imagine, which also means that once I've read this, I'll also be able to listen to the next episode of a podcast. And it's quite a new Irish podcast called If We Survive This, where two lovely women named Ellie and Jen read a book and then discuss afterwards whether they think that they personally would have survived the trials and tribulations within that story. I haven't listened to many of the episodes because they do contain spoilers of the books, but what I have listened to has been really entertaining and really insightful, and has given me sort of new things to think about books that I have read. So I will be excited to get into that after having read this one. So even if I'm not enjoying it, it will be a good incentive. I will link their Instagram account below, where you will be able to then find links to the actual podcast itself. Okay, so we have some chunks already, so hopefully book number 4 won't be quite so intimidating, or chunky at least. Is this the right way up? I don't know. You tell me. A book by an author with the same last initial as you. C. Do we have any C authors? We do, Bigara, we do. Sure, look, why not? Another Angela Carter, and the last Angela Carter book on my shelves. So I've read a few of this lady's books, and let me tell you lads, Angela Carter is a really distinctive author. Her books are really strange and unusual and feel quite fantastical, a little bit magical realism-y, a little bit grotesque at times, really unexpected, quite humorous, and I've sort of had a little bit of a love affair with her books this year, and this is the last one and the shortest one that I've had on my shelves. Oh my gosh, the writing in this is actually tiny, so it'll probably take me a bit longer to read it than I thought. But what's it about? This one is about a woman in a tower, and that's all I know. So sharp-eyed Marianne lives in a white tower made of steel and concrete with her father and the other professors. Outside, where the land is thickly wooded and wild beasts roam, live the barbarians who raid and pillage in order to survive. Marianne is strictly forbidden to leave her civilized world, but, fascinated by these savage outsiders, decides to escape. There, beyond the wire fences, she will discover a decaying paradise, encounter the tattooed barbarian boy Jewel, and go beyond the darkest limits of her imagination. This book is referred to as playful, sensuous, violent, and gripping, which honestly sounds about right in terms of Angela Carter's book. I feel like this is probably a book I wouldn't have picked up for quite some time, but I'll probably really enjoy it as well, so why not? Okay, we have 2 skinny books, 2 chunky books, and we're going for number 5. What have we got? We have a book with a 5-word title. Oh gosh. Oh, I actually have the perfect one, and it's one that I really wanted to fit in for this month. I didn't even have it left on the shelf. I had it left on the floor there to remind me. And this is perfect. I actually didn't think I was going to fit it in with my jar, but I did. And the book that I'm talking about is The Way of All Flesh by Ambrose Parry. I believe Ambrose Parry is actually 2 authors. And the reason that I picked this book up is because I am traveling to Edinburgh for 5 days in a couple of weeks now. Myself and Sean are heading over, and I wanted to read a book while in Edinburgh that is set in Edinburgh. And when I looked up recommendations for books that are set in Edinburgh, this is one that came up time and time again. And I didn't look too much into what it was about. I just said, you know what, it's got good reviews, it's coming up a lot, I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to read it in November. So Edinburgh 1847, so we have a historical fiction. Will Raven is a medical student apprenticing for the brilliant and renowned Dr. Simpson. Sarah Fisher is Simpson's housemaid and has all of Raven's intelligence but none of his privileges, of course. As bodies begin to appear across the old town, Raven and Sarah find themselves propelled headlong into the darkest shadows of Edinburgh's underworld. And if either of them are going to make it out alive, they will have to work together to find out who's responsible for the gruesome deaths. Sounds like something that I'm really in the mood for right now. I don't even know if I'll do much reading that week. I'm a bit funny when I travel. Sometimes I read loads and sometimes I read absolutely nothing. So we'll bring it along anyway, and it can add some weight to my suitcase if nothing else. But also on that note, I will probably buy 1 or 2 books while I'm over there. So if there are any books by Scottish authors or set in Scotland that you can really recommend, please do let me know in the comments below. Also, recommendations for things to do, places to go, things to see, where to go to eat, that sort of thing. Do let me know. I have been to Edinburgh a few times before, but it has been a long time for me. And I was a very different person back then. Think nightclubs, think losing my phone, think messy. Whereas now, all I want to do is sit down and read a book. Who was that person? Not me anyway. But yeah, so do let me know if you have any recommendations. I'm really looking forward to heading back. If I don't pick it up while in November, I still hope to read it in November because it feels kind of dark and mysterious. It feels perfect for this time of year. Shall we go for one more, will we? Why not put myself under pressure? They're all my books and I bought them for myself, so I'm going to eventually read them anyway. We'll go for one more and see how we get on, will we? Right. A book you bought secondhand. This should be quite easy. I have one, and this isn't actually a book that I bought. I didn't pay for it. I got it from a little free library, but I'm going to say that it counts for this prompt because it is a secondhand book. Surprisingly, because it's in really good nick. I have a feeling it wasn't even read before. The book I'm talking about, of course, is Essays in Love by Alain de Botton. This book, I still can't figure out whether it's a series of non-fiction essays or whether it's a series of fictional essays that tie together. The only way I think I'm going to really know is if I read it, but I have heard from friends of mine that this is an absolutely incredible read, so I have very high hopes for it, potentially too high hopes for it, but we'll see. I'll read you the back because I don't think I'm going to explain it very well, considering I don't even know whether it's fiction or non-fiction. So a man and a woman meet on a flight from Paris to London, and so begins their love story. From first kiss to first fight, infatuation to heartbreak, de Botton illuminates each stage of their relationship with a clarity both startling and tender. With the verve of a novelist and the acuity of a philosopher, Alain de Botton unveils the mysteries of the human heart. Essays in Love is essential reading for anyone seeking instruction in the art of love, and isn't that all of us in some way or another? I'm very interested in reading this book, and I'm really excited that this has somehow come up on my TBR for next month. Right lads, we have 3 kind of skinny books, 1 medium, 1 and 2 chunks, and any sane person would probably say that that's enough to pick to read in 1 month, but I think screw it, will we go for one more? Will we pick a 7th one? Yeah, we will. Okay, Mr. Jar, give us something good here. Right, what have we got? A book that you're reluctant to read. God damn it! Why didn't I stop at 6? What am I reluctant to read? Because there's plenty on here that I am reluctant to read. I am reluctant to read... I have one. The infamous Sarah J. Maas. with her infamous series A Court of Thorns and Roses. I read the first book, thought it was okay. Read the second book, really enjoyed it. Read the third book, thought it was okay. Started to wonder why Sarah J Maas was constantly picking on Irish people, why Irish people are always horrible, why Irish people are always evil in her books. Then did some more research into Sarah J Maas as a person and sort of felt like maybe my time with Sarah J Maas is up, but because these books, this series is still on my shelves, I'm going to commit to reading them. And I'm on to book number 4, which is A Court of Frost and Starlight. And as I've mentioned, this is book number 4 in this series, but this is a Christmas themed one, I believe. And it's quite short compared to the other ones, so I feel like it should be one that I can get through quite quickly. And I guess November is probably the right time of year to maybe pick up this book, so I might leave it till toward the end of November. I have been reluctant to read it, I won't lie. I feel like maybe I'm giving up on the series a little bit, but I did really enjoy the second one, so maybe we'll see. Can we get back into it? And you're all going to tell me now that book number 4 is not the one to get me back into this series. I'm not going to get into what this one is about because obviously, as I've mentioned quite a few times now, it is book number 4 in a series. It is the Christmas one. I always really disliked Christmas specials on TV shows and things like that, and I feel similarly about books. There's something about reading Christmas themed stuff and watching Christmas themed stuff that's normally not Christmas themed. I have this weird niche dislike for it, so that's also why I've been putting this one off. But the first book is very much a Beauty and the Beast sort of retelling, very much Stockholm Syndrome-y. Lots of fun, I will say, but not necessarily the kind of book that I feel myself sort of geared towards anymore, which is fine. I'm not shaming or shading anybody who reads Sarah J Maas. I just don't think these books are necessarily for me. Who knows? Maybe this will just be exactly the thing I need toward the end of November. I swore to myself that I wasn't going to pick too many books. I still have so many prompts left in this jar, but we're just going to pop it back on the shelf for another day. Thanks, little jar. It's been lovely to have you back. So what have we got? We have quite a few books in series actually. So the Stephen King, the Sarah J Maas, The Way of All Flesh and Iron Flame, they're all books in series. And then we have Angela Carter, Alain de Botton and Niamh Mulvey, whose book is short stories. So I feel like that is quite a varied month for me, and bar The Way of All Flesh, they're all books that I probably wouldn't necessarily have chosen for myself to read for November. But we're gonna read all these books anyway, so might as well just get cracking on them. So friends, those are the 7 books that I hope to read in the month of November. Have you read any of these books? Do you want to weigh in on any of them? Friends, thank you as ever so much for watching. I can't believe we're coming into the end of another year, and so far I have managed to post a video every Sunday of this year, which sort of blows my mind. But we've done it, pals, we're here. And I'd really love if you would leave me a comment of a book that you have read based on my recommendations that you really liked. Please do let me know. If you want to leave me a comment but you don't really know what to leave me a little dragon in honour of Iron Flame. And pals, do leave me some Edinburgh recommendations if you have any, or Scottish book recommendations as well. And on that note, we're gonna head off. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see how I get on with these books. Thank you as ever for your support on this channel. It's only me here on my own, and this is very much a labour of love. I really enjoy it, but it is a bit of work sometimes, and I don't always get it right. But sure, look, here we are. Thanks for watching, pals. I hope you're taking care. I'll chat to you next week. Bye bye.